Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. I'm Agora.
And I'm not excited about the stuff that has to happen today.
And when last we left off, we were collecting collectibles in between dungeons, and that's where we're going to continue doing. So, our first destination is we're going to exit Hyrule Town to the west.
Shut up! I hate that the roll button and the talk button are the same fucking button for some stupid ass reason. Where am I going?
West. And go up north. You need to get to the western exit from town, at which point you will need to head to the northwest part of the screen. And go into a cave that requires moments.
And this probably isn't the one it's talking about, but...
It isn't, but you might as well explore it while you're here. Hey, dig out that wall right there. It looks suspicious. Okay then. Berries. Tad underwhelming, but... Okay, let's see. If this is the right cave, there should be at least 2 chests total in the cave with blue Kinstone pieces. So there's 1. That makes 2. And then definitely dig out this wall. There it is. The thing that we came for. Now, if we had some green Kinstones enough to do multiple green Kinstone fusions, there's more we could do in this cave. But I don't know that there's any more since we do not. Because normally there would be a person up that ladder, I believe, who you would fuse with. But I don't think he should have appeared yet since we haven't done a different fusion. Actually go up it anyway. Yeah, because it said there's a Minish home here. I don't know if they'll have anything important, but... The only possible green fusion we could have done.
Finally, someone who doesn't want the same green fusion as literally everyone else in the entire world.
And you fused with that little girl Candy, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Just southeast of this area you're in, then, is where her thing should have opened up. Actually, I think the thing she opened up might have been that other cave you were in earlier.
It was.
Why didn't you just jump off into the water?
Because I already went in there.
But my point is you could have jumped off and then come here instead of going back through the cave.
I don't know. I didn't see it. Oh well. Now what?
Let's see. I have to skip ahead because of things we can't do. Tons of goodies and pieces of heart. Mount Crono. Use your ocarina.
Damn it.
And you want to climb up walls along the east end of the mountain. So, not there.
So for climbing up walls, it wants me to go to the top of the mountain.
It seems that way. Well, I think it is near the top, if not at the top, now that I think about it. But we're looking for the dojo for this area. Where you can fuse kinstones. But you don't have the matching part. Damn it.
Of course I don't.
Over to the criminal wall, northwest part of the mountain. Climb up the wall to reach the far northwest part of the overworld map. I'm not sure if it wants up there or if you have to go down and over to get there, because that's just the dungeon up there. Not sure of all the details, but essentially it's that it wants you to climb up and then find a ladder that leads down to a cave you can dig into. Oh, that looked like it might have been it to the left, actually. Yep. And there are two possible things here. One is that piece of art. And the other is at the top right part of this cave. Piece of art. Hey! Let's see, next it wants you to do 3 green kinstone fusions, which we can't do. Does look like next it wants you to go to the Minish Woods. That is an Orb of Doom. Anyhow, now you just have to warp to the Minish Woods. And there should be a tree stump nearby that you can use to shrink down. I'm not quite sure where, but... Let's see. Blow, enter the main body. So fuse against Castor Wilds. Exit the village, make way back to the tree stump, walk across the bridge to the left, head up. Oh, so you don't need to be small for this, I guess. That was my bad. I didn't realize the part I had skipped through included shrinking down. Anyhow, bridge to the left. And treasure that we hadn't picked up yet. Head up. There are 3 caves. And they are tiny caves. So how are you going to get there tiny? Oh, because you have the flippers now, that's how. I feel stupid.
Damn it.
I forgot you had the flippers. Just feels wrong that Tiny Link can swim to me, period, I guess. Okay, so for the middle cave, there's a blue kidstone. Just making your point that you can swim now.
Most areas that look like that usually have something hidden under the water.
So an ice walking complication. At least doesn't break under you though. Nicely done. I'm glad you didn't just floor it down that path. Redkin stone. And the most important reward, a piece of heart. Safety in the final cave, which didn't look complicated, luckily. Suppose if too many floor tiles had disappeared, it might have gotten complicated.
I'm trying to make the floor tiles disappear so I can stop having to swing at the fucking thing. I would much rather knock it down a pit.
Now, if you exit the woods at the southwest corner, you can get back to the eastern hills. And this mushroom can launch you across that gap. And if you shrink down, there's a Minish house. And hopefully, you'll have the matching kinstone. And you're going to go straight towards what appears. And it's just north of here. Green kinstone would have been nicer. I like this artwork. Anyhow, once you climb up, you should just find a bunch of goodies with no difficulty. Now we need to head a little farther north in the eastern hills. To the garden of Eenie and Meanie, who I believe we ran into a little while back. That looks like a lot of possible pain for everyone involved. Anyway, in their garden, you should find another cave. One of those is dangerous. Okay, now that was a nice little strategy. Anyway, at the top right part of the cave, you should find another indent in the wall. Glad you have so many of the blue kinstones, at least.
Yeah, no one wants them. This wall is literally the... These walls are literally the only ones who want them in the entire world, apparently.
Anyhow, this makes Goron number 5 up here. Number 6 won't be for a while, it points out. So, the next thing you'll be doing is heading to the Castor Wilds. And you can use your ocarina to get there faster.
Yeah. I want to get the thing out of the cave. $200 more rupees. You're almost at 600 again, but there's nothing for 600 to buy anymore, right? Nope.
Okay. So yeah, now we need to warp to the Castor Wilds for another cave, because those mole myths opened up a lot. I don't remember which one the Castor Wilds is, so I'm glad you did. And it says it's in the center of the area.
Probably not.
And visually, that's what it looks like. What you're looking for. And if you happen to wind up in the northeast corner, that's another area where we have something to get.
I'd like to wind up anywhere right about now.
Well, there's the cave. The question is how to get to that specific spot. Wait. No. I didn't notice that vine when you first went through. Anyhow, there should be 2 treasure chests in here. Okay, now we just need to get to the northeast area for what it describes as the better prize. Run across the swamp and swim across a small pond of water to find a cave. Not a mole cave either, so don't worry about that. For a better prize. And if we could have fused with the Swordmaster, that waterfall would have a secret to grab too, but you weren't able to. Tree stump, northwest corner of area is the next destination. And you'll need your boots. So that's another one of the Kinstone fusions we couldn't do. There is a lily pad here that you will unlock later. I guess it's not there yet. So, is there a lily pad to the bottom, or no? Also looks like it now. Okay. That stinks. It sucks how many Kinstones we haven't been able to find. Red lily pad, small. Jump in water. This might take me a minute to read through. Apparently, once you get those lily pads, it opens up the majority of this map to Minish Link. Okay, there's normal size. Run to the southwest corner. And then head south to the Wind Ruins. Hey, water, I'm glad you could swim in that, but... I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot in the dark and say there's probably some sort of Kinstone fusion to make that accessible too. Kinstone fusions are interesting, I just wish that...
The game didn't require them constantly.
My gripe is more that they don't drop as common as something they use this much should. Speaking of Kinstone fusions, you're doing a red one next if you have the matching piece. Water. Make our way through this area for... Southwest, okay. I couldn't remember the direction for a second. Okay, and the Wind Ruins are what's past these statues, right? It's the dungeon?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're going near it. No, make your way through the first area and then shrink down to the tree stump. And then drop down the hole found north. Hey! And now we just need to head there. You may need to activate that statue first. Oh, now you have a shortcut. I didn't see it at first. Whoops, don't listen to me.
I usually don't.
Now we get to look at the scenery again. And in the chest is a large quiver, letting you carry 70 arrows, which should theoretically be more than you'll ever need. Now your Ocarina of Wind to warp is what we'll need. I'll let you know where in a minute, because... Oh, hold on. Because I want you to do a second fusion with someone we haven't got to do the first fusion with, is what I'm trying to say, but I'm experiencing a lot of pain. Southwest corner of South Hyrule Field Circle. I'm assuming that you aren't going to have the green kinstone for the first fusion with the guy here, so I'm just going to leave you to the next one. So there is a lone tree that you can dash into. Yeah, like that one.
Damn it.
Wrong button. Question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, now you've done that, just as Tiny, jump in the water. And head north. And somewhere to the north direction, there should be a Minish hole somewhere. Yeah. For a piece of art. Now just head back south and use that little vine that was at the bottom to climb back up. And return to your murderous size. Let's see. That's suspicious. Wrongfully so. So your next destination is Western Woods. Hey look, Western Woods. You need to head to the far south of the area to find a tree stump.
This is about as south as Western Wood goes. No.
Well then. Funny thing is, I'm trying to guide you to a blue Kinstone fusion right now. So the fact that you just picked one up. Anyway, in the far south, you're supposed to be able to shrink down somewhere. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, okay. I was not quite sure where the stump is, but. Green Kinstone.
Probably more of the one I've already got like 30 of.
Well, we'll be able to see once you do this Kinstone fusion in a second. No?
I went too far.
Yeah, I saw. It's relaxing running into a bunch of Kinstone fusions you have the pieces for, though.
Yeah, instead of the people in town.
I just lost my place, so I need to find it. The phone rotated when I sat up. Getting pretty close to that rupee cap, don't you think?
Well, if there was more stuff I could buy that isn't mysterious shells.
Oh, you know, this there is actually. Head to town. Up into town. Head to the post office, because we can buy some of those manuals for 200 each. To get back to a point where we're not about to overflow. Helpful Adventurer's Guide, Swordsman New Letter, 200 each. Thanks for supporting local businesses. Now if you head out and back in, it'll be sitting on the shelf. Like so. And most of what these have are just tips or like useful information, but not things that you need to know per se. That being said, it's still a collectible that you can physically see, so might as well get it. And once you're finished here, I don't remember if you did the fusion it's talking about or not, so once you finish up here, warp to the Lake Hylia warp. Just to see if we did this fusion or not. And head into that tiny house. Because if we did it, then he's not going to have the fusion anymore. Cool. So, our next goal. There's a tree on the path to Castor Wilds that you can enter in the Western Woods. That's our goal. It's a weird wording, but that's our goal now. Da 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 da. Next, we need to go to North Hyrule Field, northeast corner. This time we should be able to get pretty close to finishing up the collectibles that we have to round up. At least for the things that we are able to do. Can't really speak to the things that we are missing the pieces for. Okay, and we need the northeast corner that was. And there are rocks to make go bye-bye. And goodly. Kaboom!
Splish.
Now you can just jump down to the water. These are the Vale Falls, by the way, for anyone wondering. Yeah, from the water you can get to that piece of heart since we can swim.
If I could get rid of the fucking bee hats.
And then Lon Lon Ranch is next. They tried. No one died.
Fucking nope.
It is a really nice thing that you can cancel that. Anyway, we need the northwest corner of the area. Well then.
Alright then.
So you'll just have to work back once again. I don't like that design though.
One-way travel is not a good design for anything.
Oh, I didn't see it. I heard it hit the ground, but I couldn't find it.
Where am I going?
Northwest. The true northwest, so outside the fence. Because at the top there is a hole that you can use your cane on. Your cane of pacifiers. To head into the Vale Falls from the south side again. And you can now swim in the water, so yeah. It's a fact we can take advantage of. I would just carry on. You have enough hearts that you shouldn't have to worry much about them. But the more you try to fight them, the more you're putting yourself at risk. Swimmy, swim, swim. And it does warn that there are, I want to say, rupee lakes in the area. But it also points out that there are a lot of rupees to be gathered. Boomerang to stun them before hitting him. He's not one of the ones that has it wear off. Yeah, he's an annoying concept, but at least he, doesn't have a shit ton of health for no reason. Next we just have to go to the Lake Hylia region once again. This time for the sake of being in the Lake Hylia region. And we're going to head to the north end where we had found Stockwell's vacation house.
Well, I think we're gonna have to cut off for time soon.
Soon, yeah. It's not much longer.
We have 4 minutes until we have to go to pick up our groceries.
We have to be there within the hour starting at 2. So we can get there as late as 3 and still be fine. But we're nearing the end of the collectible list. The building, for a reminder, is a red roof building with a pond. We don't need to go in it, we just need to get to it. And I think it's in the pond, I want to say. Yes. And we have access to much of the lake since you can swim. So, dive in. There's our... I can't get it. Swim to the bottom right portion. And you'll wind up near another vacation house. I'm not sure that you actually need to go into it. Hold on. Swim to the bottom right portion to get by the house. Swim just to the west of the cabin to find a piece of heart. I just realized that you're up to 13 hearts now. Yeah, it says swim just to the west of the cabin. Oh, there it is. Now go shrink down at the cabin. And then head to the tiny hole that's under the cabin that we saw. Not even that way. Like, over and around. Because it's right there. Oh, you're gonna go get it. So you walk around the area, small cave northeast. Oh, you're already there. Make your way across the ice. And watch out for your old friends. Okay, that just looked like a display of skill that I don't think you were trying to pretend to have. This just looks like you've already mastered the ice, always stopping right before they're gonna fall.
I can't stop before the clearly defined edge.
Okay, that went so smoothly, it had to mess up somewhere. Can't let them think you're that skilled. That was almost the sentence I was trying to say. It is annoying that they don't give you a one-way travel way to get out of here that isn't the ice, you know? Like something you could hop over from this side only. Now we have to get all the way back up to resize. Ooh, I just saw what you're going to be discovering next. Due to kinstone fusions, we've had to miss out on one of these, but discovering more of them is always fun. You know, considering everything that you managed to find in that cave, this is an annoyingly long way to get to a cave. Like, with how much time that takes, you'd think there'd be something a little better. Anyway, once you resize, swim west of the stump. To find an area to climb up. And it mentions entering a tree, so I'm going to guess that it's that tree. The requirement for learning here is that you have to have at least 10 full heart containers. And this is the last collectible we have to go out of our way for before the dungeon. Oh, we've actually seen where we need to be, even. So, hop your ass back in that water, assuming there's not a shortcut or something to trigger first. I don't know if there is or not. Nice! Now get back in the water! There's that thing. You need to get to that thing while you're in the water. This went very smoothly. Mess something up quick.
Alright, so this time it's unskippable.
Yep. There's a reason for that.
Well, yeah, but I figured I'd still be able to skip it.
And now we've entered the Temple of Droplets. And, interestingly enough, this time there won't be any heart pieces to pick up in the dungeon. Having said that, we have reached a great stopping point, finally having made it to the next dungeon. So, having said that, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, feel free to hit that subscribe button to follow us for more content. I hope you stay safe, and have a wonderful night.
We spent almost an hour picking up Link's groceries.